Welcome, everyone, to Global Markets Radio Week Ahead. I'm your host, Andrew Spanton. Sunday, 5:12 p.m. Eastern, March the 4th, 2012. Not much to report over the weekend. I thought there'd be a little more action. APAC, Washington, Obama speech, but same crapola. Wants diplomacy to work. What a joke. An absolute joke. We have a big week coming up this week, team. Big week. We have rate decisions coming out of everywhere except the U.S. Obviously, non-farm payroll. But again, over the weekend, not much to talk about. Ahmadinejad, whatever the hell you pronounce his name, actually his rival, he lost, considering now to be a lame duck in Iran. Go figure that. The opposition gained 75% of the seats available in the election. Putin, of course, rigged his election, so he knew he was going to win. But I thought the whole Iranian situation maybe might heat up a little. But I would think, based upon Obama's talk, that oil would come in. Certainly not war-fighting rhetoric. But obviously tomorrow's meeting with Netanyahu and Netanyahu's speech should be very interesting and watched closely by the markets, in my opinion. But again, looking at the S&P chart, we see here the weekly. Doesn't look like a reversal like I thought maybe we might have. Maybe. I think Thursday's sell-off was pretty harsh and really gave you the feeling like a top is coming. I mean, that sell-off we had last week, that wasn't nothing. That was a shot across the bow, in my opinion. But you look at this S&P weekly chart. We're looking at all the weeklies, remember, on the Sunday, week ahead. Still closing a new high, still at 1370, and looks like, again, on the hourly, 1380 is a huge spot. We take out 1380 on the SPOOs to the moon hours. Fly me to the moon. Gone. Obviously, we're still in a nice uptrend channel. I look for us to gravitate towards the low of this channel, 1365 tonight. And then will be the momento de juego, game time. Are we going to roll over and really come in? Or are we going to bounce back up to the highs and take them out? We'll have to see. But I'll tell you what, I think tonight it's going to be the same, at least to start the week. We should be dollar bullish. I think the futures are going to be on the weak side. I think we do test 1365, but how much is that? Not much. But we do have a very big week ahead. Very big week ahead. We have rate decisions coming out of everywhere. And it's not that nobody's expected to change rates. Although, there are some banks that think the ECB might cut on Thursday. That would, believe it or not, be a good thing. Markets would explode. Europeans get it. There's still talk they're not going to give the money to them. The Germans. This whole thing is not over. No one believes the Greeks are going to institute the austerity programs they say they will. You can't believe them. But again, we get a lot of data coming out this week. A lot, a ton, a litany of data. And I think that some of the statements you would think are all going to be bullish. You would think. I think more importantly is the Politburo meeting for their annual event. But this one is big because they are going to be electing a whole new Politburo. I think 75% of the Politburo are retiring. So some change out of China could be interesting. And that's not happening this week, but it's coming. I think they have their first conference this weekend. But Australia, for example, we have a ton of data. Unemployment. That's Wednesday. Trade balance on Thursday. A ton. Rate decision tomorrow. We even get some numbers tonight. Inflation, job advertisements. I do not believe the RBNZ is going to change rates at all. I don't think they can even talk about raising rates. But again, Stevens has said Australia in the sweet spot. So we look at this, and again, this S&P, I don't know. It's probably going up. But you know what? I'm a bear unless we take out 1380. I am laying it in the sand. This is ridiculous. I think the market's going to come in sharply this month. A big down month, maybe leading into April. I believe something's going to blow up in the Middle East. There could be a major natural disaster. And then we have all the European problems. And then the U.S. numbers coming out, which I don't think are going to be that great. So we'll see. And apparently that Beer Mart, whatever his name, Beer Bart, has some tape of Obama coming out in a week, back in his college days, hanging around with terrorists. I don't know. I doubt it. If it wasn't something 4 years ago, how can it be something now? But again, big numbers. Tomorrow, tonight, Swiss retail sales, no big deal there, but still. I think the currency report, when's that coming out? Foreign currency reserves on Wednesday out of the SNB should be very something to watch. Oh, yes. How much have they spent? How much are they really defending this? Can they continue to defend 120 on the Euro Swiss? Services PMI tonight out of London. But again, I'm staying bearish on this S&Ps. And if that's true, that means the dollar rallies. If the stock market goes down, the dollar's going to rally. And you look at this Australian dollar, and as gorgeous as it's flagging, listen, it is. Pole, flag on the weekly, but you're getting all these wicks. You're getting these wicks. That means there's selling pressure. This 108 is huge. A close above 108 on the weekly this week would be huge. Momo to the upside. S&P closing above 1380 would be huge. Momo. Momentum to the upside. But when we take a look at this dollar index, remember, Australia's not even in the dollar index, by the way. Nice reversal last week. Outside candle. Break it down and break it out. Look how it closed the previous week. Terrible. We thought there'd be continuation, but there really was not much. I still would have liked to have seen this dollar index hit the channel line, but it never did. Remember, we had a channel line around 77 and change. Not that. Damn it. I would like to have seen us hit that. That would have been perfect, but we didn't. You can't always get what you want. I think someone wrote that song. So again, this candle, nice outside candle, took out the low, closed relatively right at the highs, above previous week high, bullish. I think this dollar index can now start heading back up again. Maybe we head towards the 81 zone. We get ISM non-manufacturing out of the U.S., factory orders, tomorrow. And then, of course, Australian rate decision, no change expected there. But, again, the statement's going to be key. And, again, above 108 is key. And we look at the euro. The euro was obviously the relative strength loser big time last week. Across the board, the euro got slammed, smoked, drilled. Bye-bye. And I do believe that's going to continue. Almost hit the channel line. But, again, you can't always get what you want. It doesn't always hit the channel line. We hit a wall 35, couldn't get through it. Euro is a short unless we take that out. Oh, yeah. But the weekly chart looks terrible. I would say if we can breach, might be talking about this channel line here. Certainly 130, I would think we come into easy. As a spot. That's only 200 pips, but we would take that. And you look at some of the other ones that completely rolled over. Euro Aussie, Euro Canada. Euro Aussie completely breaking down. Looks like it wants to melt. I still have a hard time believing that unless the stock market really explodes and the Aussie just launches. And we got a rate decision coming up tomorrow. You never know. As bullish as I might be on pound Aussie, a little bit of a reversal last week. I don't necessarily love it. And again, if risk is on, they're buying the high yielders. Aussie, Kiwi, for some reason, Loonie. Dollar Canada, relative strength winner last week, big time. Weekly chart looks terrible. Look at the outside candle. Took it out and took it down. From a technical perspective, this one looks gorgeous. Dollar Canada, I am long, but I got to tell you, looking at this chart, it makes you very scared. We might pop a little bit, but at the end of the day, this was a major outside candle, 10, 20, 30 crossing. The trend has definitely turned, getting a little bit of momentum. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 5 weeks, down, up, down, up, down. So let's see if we can get a follow through. I don't know. Not if the S&Ps are coming in, baby. And let's see what the Bank of Canada has to say. Should be interesting. Canadian Ivy on Tuesday. Big manufacturing number there. Dollar Swiss looks like it wants to grind higher. Almost taking out previous week's high. Took out the retracement. Break it down to break it out. I mean, you certainly would have thought after last week's close that we would have had follow-through. We did not. So to me, I think we did take reverse. I think, again, the stock market, with that sell-off we had, I believe in it. And again, the dollar yen. The yen's what's killing me. You know, the stock market goes down, dollar yen goes up. Carry trade's back, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks up. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Broke the whole downtrend, crossed. We even had the pullback last week. So as bearish as you might be, as overbought as this might be, as much as you want it to come back to the 10, exponential 79.50, it pulled back and closed the week strong, which means we're probably going up again. Another week up. Maybe we reverse this week. And I got to tell you, this 85 level just keeps looking at me in the face, saying, I'm going there. It's a little lower, actually. $84.50. Easy. Train has left the station. It's getting close to getting into its arrival spot, but it's not there yet. And you got channel lines all over the place. Sterling yen looks gorgeous. Came back, which means we could explode again this week. Another channel line. They all look the same. Luna yen. Love it. That's from last week. Going towards my 84. Hell yeah. To the moon. And even Euro yen is going to probably play catch up. You had a nice reversal in Euro yen last week. Maybe we pull back a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I think all the yens are short. Yen carry trade is a long. And again, we look at this euro sterling and we see how weakly it performed. And that's why the euro was the relative strength loser across the board. The crosses mean everything. But, you know, we take a look at New Zealand. Again, rate decision coming up. That's a nice outside candle. Almost took out previous week's low. Almost got there on Friday. I just think this looks very heavy. Very, very heavy. And the only way to get scared out of this bias is if the stock market rips through 1380. Then and oil, gold, everything going up. But you had Bernanke, drill gold last week. Gold looks like it's going lower. Crude probably is going to come in on Obama's lackluster, non-warlike speech. Certainly not beating the drums of war. Trying to kiss Iran's ass is what he's doing. But this New Zealand is a nice outside candle. So, we have a lot of mixed currency here. Sterling, not real big outside, but certainly like 3 weeks ago. Enough where we do get a sell-off. Enough where we certainly come into 56.50. Easy. Under 58, oh yeah, there's air down there. Cable looks like a great short. So it's amazing. You say to yourself, well, if cable looks like a good short, pound dollar, and dollar Canada looks like a nice short on that candle, well, how about pound Canada? How about euro Canada? Well, euro Canada's at a big channel line. Pound Canada could melt. We could be starting to see this Canadian dollar make a run. Would you believe it? You look at this euro Canada. Nice break. Big time. It was Betty good. I tried buying it. But we do have a nice down here. But it's right around support. I got nice support right around 130.40. If we can hold. But this outside candle is significant. Break it out to break it down. So again, any rallies in these things, I want to be short them. I think there will be a rally in the euro against the crosses. I'd rather be long the euro yen. But I think at the end of the day, you sell that. I don't think that euro pop we're going to have is going to hold. No way. And I'll tell you, this euro Swiss, maybe this is the week. Those currency reserves coming out, big. And again, ADP on Wednesday in the U.S., non-farm payroll. You get a strong number in non-farm payroll, dollar yen is going to fly. 84. Now it's only 220 pips. It was a lot more. Hopefully you benefit. I'll tell you, the Swiss yen, gorgeous. It reversed a little bit. I don't care. I want to buy this baby. Yes, it is up 1,000 pips from the low. Yes, we could easily pull back to 86. Oh, yeah. But really, where is it? Nowhere. No man's land. So I would love to see a pullback down to these levels. I just don't know we're going to get it. So again, this week is a big week for central banks. It's all going to be about their statements. What do they have to say? How are their economies doing? How scared are they of Europe? Is Europe out of the way? Do they feel that the European situation has calmed down and Europe is on the right path? Or are they worried still? Nothing got done. Then that means rates are on hold for a long time. Me love you long time. And then markets could explode to the moon. But you take a look at some of the yens. I mean, look how overbought this is. It's up 1,000 pips. But you know what? It might have more to go, Aussie yen. We might have to make a 3-year high. Make the W. Look, we shot up here, took out the high. It was gone, right? Look how we collapsed. So sometimes we got to make this move, stop out all the shorts, all the technicians, and then you get the meltdown. Maybe this is the week, but we're getting very close. I'm not a big bull. I'm not saying this yen carry trade's going to the moon. I just think it has more to it. But we're going to get a reversal. And remember, this month is the end of the year and the quarter for the Japanese. So you would think at some point towards the end of March, we start getting some repatriation. Oh, yeah. What about that? So that could help the cause. Taking a look at Aussie Kiwi in looking for a reversal. Aussie Kiwi had a nice week last week, popped nicely. I think we do get some follow through. One of the reasons why I'm so bearish on the Kiwi now. I think we pop up to like 131, maybe then reverse. I still think long term this Aussie Kiwi is coming in. All right, everyone. Again, remember, I'm running a winter special for my premium service. Chat room, you get me 4 hours a day, if not more. You get a newsletter that costs $400 a month. I'm not even going to name names. I can't. It's illegal. You get daily trade recommendations. You have a premium Twitter where I send out messages only to premium people. $400 for 3 months. You give me 3 months, I'll give you the world. Oh, baby. Andrew Spanton, Global Markets Radio, the only voice you'll ever need, who truly loves to make you money. Big week ahead. Volatility in the house. Bye-bye.